4 video in a row, but as I said, I really don't care. I just want to spread the information. So we are comparing right now iPhone 13 to 13 Pro as well as 12 Pro. And this is not going to be comparison based on actually me testing these models since they are not available right now. Nor is this going to be a comparison when I'm just reciting specs and you do with this what you want to do. It's going to be more of a real world comparison of these three iPhones since they can be kind of similar as well as kind of confusing. So we're gonna start with the design, then main differences, and then my recommendations depending on the use case. So the first thing is the design, and if you are comparing 12 Pro to the 13 Pro, I mean good luck with actually some real differences, since the real difference is only the new color on the 13 Pro. Now you get different colors of the blue. Other than that, the design is pretty much identical, except the fact that the 13 Pro has smaller notch, just like the 13. So out of these three iPhones, the 12 Pro still has the biggest notch. But how much difference is that? Well, you gotta answer that for yourself. We've lived with this notch for almost 4 years and we've been fine. So the smaller notch is an improvement, but is it really a big improvement for you? Well, one could argue about that. And the main difference is that iPhone 13 has more of a glass and aluminum build as well as a two camera design compared to the two Pro models that have stainless steel. They are heavier, they have 3 cameras and LiDAR. So there are these differences. You gotta take a look at those phones and see which one you like more. As I said, the Pro models are gonna be very similar from the front except that notch, and the 13 slight difference because difference build quality, not stainless steel but rather aluminum. So you gotta look at the design, but both have pretty good design with the fact that 13 series as well as 13 Pro, these have smaller notches and some other very small detail changes when it comes to the design. Overall, the main design is that stainless steel build as well as notch. And when it comes to the display, now I can pretty confidently say that iPhone 13 and 12 Pro has pretty much identical displays. I mean the same brightness, 800 nits, 1200 in HDR. So the display, no difference, both 60 Hz. But where you can spot a huge difference is the iPhone 13 Pro with the 1000 nits brightness as well as new promotion display. Variable refresh rate that Apple advertised in their event. So if you want to have the highest refresh rate, very efficient display, the 13 Pro is definitely gonna be the case for you, since it's gonna be smoother, it's gonna be more responsive, and depending how much you care about that 120 Hz. I mean, Gary from Everyday Dad said that he doesn't really care, and some people really don't. So that all is up to you, but if you want that promotion display, the 13 Pro is the only one that supports that. And when it comes to the bar life, the 12 Pro is gonna be the worst out of those. Then it's gonna be the 13, and then it's gonna be the 13 Pro according to Apple website. So if you wanna have a solid battery, 12 Pro is gonna get the job done. I mean, you know all the stories since it's been available for over a year. Now with the 13 and 13 Pro, there are some improvements to the battery, and as I said, you wanna have the best, you're gonna go for 13 Pro. Or if you really want to have a beast battery, the best battery in any iPhone, you gotta go to 13 Pro Max. And when it comes to the performance, I mean, either of these is gonna be extremely fast. But if you gotta, characterize this by the performance, again, 12 Pro is the worst with the A14 Bionic and 6GB of RAM. 13 is then next with A15 and probably 6GB of RAM as well. And then we have 13 Pro with even boosted A15 Bionic with 5-core GPU. And how much RAM? That's another question. Either 6 or 8GB. Apple didn't mention that, so I assume the RAM can still be 6GB. But again, 13 Pro is the best when it comes to the performance, 12 Pro is the worst. But each of these phones is gonna be extremely snappy. But if you wanna get the best performance, you gotta go for 13 Pro. And if you don't care about that much, you get a good deal on a 12 Pro. A14 is still a beast, I mean, come on. Then another difference is the camera. I mean, here it's a little bit tricky. 13 Pro has the best camera, that's definitely no question about that. It has all the features that 12 Pro and 13 have combined, as well as other extra features. So there is definitely, if you want to have the best camera, the most versatile camera, 13 Pro is the way to go. And now the tricky comparison is between 12 Pro and 13. Since 13 has better computational photography, overall the photos coming out from the main lens may be a little bit better. It has that cinematic video, but 12 Pro strikes back with telephoto camera as well as Apple Pro RAW. And again, 13 Pro of course has all of these features and more, so don't worry about that. You have all that with 13 Pro. But when it comes to the comparison between 12 Pro and 13, it's tricky. You wanna have more versatile camera with telephoto, you gotta go for 12 Pro. You wanna have slightly better results with the main sensor, you gotta go for the 13. You wanna have that cinematic video, you're gonna go with the 13. Other than that, that's pretty much all the differences. These are quite similar phones. I mean, if you wanna have the best of the best, the 13 Pro is the way to go. I mean, the best battery, the brightest screen, the smoothest screen with promotion, the fastest smartphone, so the 13 Pro is out of the way. You wanna have the best, you go for the 13 Pro. And now it's the tricky little thing to choose between 13 and 12 Pro. I mean, battery life, that's going to the 13. Better computational photography, thanks to that A15, that's going to the 13. Storage is the same on all models, 128, regardless which phone you take. All of them have the same base storage, so no comparison when it comes to that. And 13 compared to the 12 Pro is gonna be slightly faster. And these are pretty much the main differences. And when it comes to the 12 Pro, it strikes back with that telephoto camera as well as stainless steel build. So which one should you choose? Well, to be honest with you, I think that I would personally choose 13 because of that better battery, a bit faster, and the camera system is slightly more modern, even though it doesn't have telephoto. But if I could actually find 12 Pro being cheaper, like let's say $100, I think that's definitely a great option, since again you have that telephoto and stainless steel. Yeah, the battery life is gonna be slightly worse, the performance not that noticeable, the photos are still great, so that's my recommendation. If I could find 12 Pro cheaper than the 13, I would definitely go for that. But other than that, I think I would just go with the 13 because of that A15 as well as slightly better battery, and then 13 Pro for all the Pro in the world. So there we have it, 4 videos in a row recorded today. So I got definitely excited. I wanted to spread as much information as possible. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to press the like button, smash that subscribe button, and until next time.